Yo, abusuya for me ma obi bia akwa ba shon ko so ba FunnTV GH. E be show say afi no wa ba dwumadi yi so a wo be like, wo be share, no wa subscribe, wo be notification bell no so send ya be ya new political updated videos we are to do awonsa e betumi akabi. And your call highway no so no ayen sempi ensem ne bi ne san e bi ne say easy J.Mensah and then call for and no masa ye bium or masa be bium no about one no person ma Asante regions for no ballot box and papers no ma printing is a boy or ma printing guma jackpa Richard jackpa akohwehwem akoninya the one person way ma printing more than even 50,000 ballot papers are omodi afra the omodi ba mine ama jackpa akohu akira wa be expose yo mo pay time abusia for measure mo se mo be me yakọ me akotie video we me da obi bia ase
me ba cho okanwo brofum na ewie ye be chiri me ba cho bra Facebook me ba cho yanko Richard Jakpa onu ena da o Facebook no yenti oni yenua sena.
If you take Bulk Press, for instance,
okay,
it's one of the printing companies. They are printing Asante region there, Asante region at Bulk Press, and then I think Savannah, where our flag bearer comes from. These two regions they are printing them at Bulk Press. And I am not accusing Bulk Press because I've had a lovely meeting, nice meeting with their management, and certain measures have been put in place. In fact, there's Mr. Buckman himself, I think his general manager, they didn't know what was happening until I got there and I detected those things, which I'm going to be sharing with you. What I realized was I got there, I wanted to know how many sheets they were printing per constituency. You know, the EC, they've got their figures, what they need for each constituency. And for contingency, they decide to add 2% to what they need. So when you add the 2% to what the EC need exactly, we call it adjusted figure. So when you throw, the printing houses are supposed to print that, which is the EC's figure plus 2%. That's what they are supposed to print.
EC's figure plus 2%.
Plus 2% okay. For the EC, just in case. It's for contingency, and which is allowed at IPAC. They've agreed on it. So now when you are printing, they print in sheets, a large sheet. It depends upon printing house. Some have 3 rows on a sheet, which means 3 ballot on a sheet. Some have 4 on a sheet, 5 on a sheet. Bulk Press, they have 6 ballot papers on a sheet, large sheet. So, and they normally, they will input the figure into the print machine. That's the sheet, number of sheets, and then they'll print. And that's what they'll use to do the serialization and everything. So when I got there, I wanted to know how many of the sheets they put in a printing machine to print. For 3 days, they were playing hanky-panky with me, you know, tossing me here and there. That should be easy to tell them. We are supposed to know. You know, we are supposed to know. So I kept asking, they were tossing me up and down, So I had to find my own way to get the figures. But once you get that initial print board figure, you can come out with a formula to know the excess that have been printed outside the EC's figure. And that is where, if you don't monitor, the rigging starts. So the rigging that takes place at the polling station starts right from the printing. So if you are not able to identify and nip that move in the bud, and they finish the printing and they get the things out, you have a problem at the polling station. So I wanted a print board figure, and they were tossing me up and down. And that was at their middle level, management level. No, so they were playing hanky-panky with me for 3 days. So finally, I managed to get the figures on my own. They never gave me the figures. I got them on my own because I wanted to know the excess that they are printing outside the EC's figures, which they didn't make it known to my agent. And I wanted to know, because I know that's where the game is being played. So after 3 days of trying, they weren't getting for me. I found my own means to get the figures, the print board figures that they enter into the printing machines. And when I did my calculation, I came up with a formula. I did my calculation. I realized that per each constituency of the Ashanti region that they were printing over 3,000 ballots per each constituency as excess, as extra.
You're saying that so the total ballot papers for the constituency,
yes,
you said plus 2%.
2% of EC for contingency, over 3,000 per each constituency. So when I got the print board and I did the calculation to break down, and I arrived at that was giving me about 500 sheets extra that were printing. Now the 500 sheets, and each sheet has 6 rows of ballot papers. So you times the 500 by 6. That will give you 3,000 ballot papers for the presidential per each constituency.
3,000 extra.
3,000 extra. That is for Asante and Savannah, where my flag bearer is coming from. So I got alarmed. I said,
Those are huge numbers.
Huge numbers. So times 3,000. For Asante region in particular, let's say 47 constituencies. You times 3,000 by 47. So you can imagine. And they were not disclosing, they didn't want to disclose the print board figures to me. So when I got it, I got alarmed. So I went to Buck Press and I demanded for a meeting to meet management.
Okay.
So I had access to meet the general manager. We sat down, a very nice man. No. So we sat down, then I put my issues to him. That this is what I've discovered. Your marketing manager and his other production people, they refuse to give me the figures for the past 3 days. And Asante region is the stronghold of the MPP. So I need the figures. I'm very particular about that particular region.
FM 92.3.
So I need the figures. And for 3 days, they weren't giving me. I've gotten the figures. They asked me, okay, so what did I come up with? And I said, I've realized that we are printing 500 sheets extra, which translates to 3,000 ballots as excess per constituency.
FM 92.3.
So he said, he looked at it. Then there was one particular constituency that the figure I got, I think it was written wrongly. And that was given over 200,000. So that was the main, I was very particular about that place. So that's what I started with. And I said, probably I might be wrong in my calculation, or my agent was wrong in giving me that figure I was looking for. Or probably your printing press is wrong. There must be something wrong. So I'm coming for clarification. So let's sit down and discuss it before we move to the 500 extra sheets that you've been printing. So I took him through my formula that I use in arriving at their SS.
Okay.
Then when I finished, I said, it looks like I even understand the printing more than them. And I said, well, I'm a private investigator. This is what I do. No, I crack puzzles. So this is what I've done to arrive at your SS you are producing, even though you refuse to give me the figures. So I told him that. So he called his production team, all of them, almost about, I think, 5 or so of them. They should all come, because he was shocked. So he called them, they came and sat down. Then he asked me to go over my concerns again.
Okay.
I went over again. Then he asked them, are you printing 500 SS sheets for each constituency, which culminates into 3,000 ballots? They said yes. Then they said, he said, but that should be too much. Then they tried to justify that, it's for operational losses. Operational losses within the printing press.
Okay.
Because, which is normal, it's true. But it was too much. It's true. It's not a lie. There are always operational losses, because when you are printing, some of the papers will get bad. When you are numbering serial, some will be double serial printing, so you have to discard it. A whole lot of other small issues that come up. But that percentage was too huge.
The over 3,000
yes, just for the printing press alone, per each constituency. So I smelled an elephant in that game. So then Buckman himself came into the meeting. The owner of the printing press himself came. Then he also listened. Then he was also alarmed. Then he said, okay, so the other constituencies that you finish, and they've done the serialization, and they've done the cutting and the stitching, how many of the SSs were left?
Okay.
They said, one of them is about 350 sheets, another one about 400. They said, then you are giving me cost. Because if 350 sheets, 400 sheets, times 6 to give you the ballot is what is left. So it means you use about 50 sheets or 70 sheets. And all these rests have been printed with pictures and security code and everything. They all go to waste. Times the consequences. You are giving me cost.
Okay.
And so he didn't know that this was the excess that they were producing. And the general manager too didn't know about that.
Okay.
So he said they had to cut it down. And I told them that I've been to InnoLink, another printing press. The excess they are printing to take care of operational losses in their printing press is about 200 sheets.
200.
About 200 sheets.
Okay.
Times 6. Because they're also using 6 rows per sheet.
Okay.
Will give you about 1,200.
Okay. That's 1,200. Not
Yes.
no over 3,000.
No, about 3,000. No. So I told him, and I said, I've been to FUNN under printing press. They are doing less than 100 sheets as operational losses. So, and they are even doing 3 rows,
Okay.
not 6.
Even with 3 rows, they're doing less than.
Less. About less than 100 sheets as losses. As for operational contingencies. So I said, okay. Now you who are printing Asante region, and you are doing such huge losses. Now when you go to Checkpoint, another printing press, they are also printing Eastern region.
Okay.
Another stronghold of MPP. And they are also doing over 3,000 SS ballots per constituency.
Ahuto FM 92.3.
I'm saying from Alaska, the dawn. Says Ashanti region, it's one across wall. Until Oyabe Winnie and about me, Winnie, that's all make Kegum. Ballot no make Kegum. Says the amount Ashanti region and the Eastern region. It's your 16 regions. It will make out some the 2 regions where Winnie. I said when Kwajo Yabu the Kawa. And Papa na Kwachiwom. Kwajo, Akwaba.
Make you some
Na walk out here.
Oh, Yanko pardon me, oh, yeah.
I saw Kesi Pierre.
Then 1 1. Send me, but Pierre, you because come in and can I me pay
That's right.
on Wednesday. And then I want my baby do Thursday. But I'm if I can yes, I'm Chevin Yadel. I mean, who not Papa.
That's right.
Near Diagro Munti, near Diagro. What I say.
And another Ahuto.
And then the other piano. Yes, Aquaba Minia.
That's right.
Yeah, but you so
Yeah. Alaska. I'm saying to for national phobia. Let me the so boss our way see. Before 3 days to the printing we know.
That's right.
Bahanum. Don't say me wo Alanche Martin team no me fanto. Enti enter nya and say 2 days before no. Na nye we mu no more print Ashanti region.
That's right.
Different printing press na printing. Sa company na omo ye niema be dubious niema previous one. E ko fa ansem bae no. Omo no more print Ashanti region. Enti Elec magmanu
abusuafo yadru ofa etosumienu yedo bibia otimini ye hesa adwumadi we ase make sure say one like here over like na make sure say one share be share ma for inside atumi akabi Richard Jack adwumadi a wadi die so ye nipa a watimi expose J.Mensah mo big time or ma print more than 50,000 papers or more person or more the France anti regions for you know abusuafo me sure say adwumadi ye enwie ye make sure say me akoto aso da we bia ase
any empanimfo kokko trans derby Asante region your stronghold in bulk press there. One also the yen say MPP ni to a honest your print and yamafi. What am I say? Tomu yes I meeting we cause you front office and sakai. Meaning the first person because the uncle for no be able to become radio. So
that's right.
The ban become radio. Say lucky. Never count ha. The count ha no. Lucky. Misako konya we and this in penifoni biane because the other me with me akizu I campaign I friends campaign manager no
that's
omane buama me friend na wanfa lucky me share madi any I abrante no on ko win me finidi o craig bidin no
that's right.
yeah me koko share o mumie no now almost the same issue office one me share mo and me can say ni na koso it will make sure some of the money better it will make for cause printing press one will make sure some better nyankofo better creating niema yi
that's right.
No mo say honom kwakoye o mo niema stronghold o mo kwakoye no to mo check hanom no mo san check checkpoints so what you say those 2 places no e honom de koye adwuma also koye say honom adwuma ne wo
that's right.
me baba kan ha ma tie 40 ye wo ya ba na aka bi obi o mo bekata o mo tum futrago nkrofo ni keke da bi o wontum be town ka bi ntu obi so because book press ni na tisle gone minimum colors or the name.
That's right.
And then company, me the printing way there. My dear chesa from Kufota, my printing be a dear copies and Nancy. Even now, no bono, yeah, near dear change your name so NPP for no. And to a woman about houses, a woman names the Empono, NPP on to qua. It's one as Sabia, Mr. Doctor Quasi, be framing. What body did Doctor Bibi? I remember, I forget the name of
it. Doctor Quasi,
I want the doctor and put our frame. One no man name, doctor, and also who crack candy. And also, we have a printing room. I say printing for what? And also, some of the human might be some more list and some of Musa be anti or more microphone record. And so I'm sorry. We know when you're human being. As my Kwajade, where they scout power, where they more than to where more than. And I'm saying, me, some American Manyama and this Samayama Franto.
That's right.
2 places in my head. And to forget when it it's can be your own piano. 8 good years more than a way in a baby day. And was say, and also want to say, please, and I'm a cutting or corn baby. What you must say? Some don't want your demand in but almost stronghold war. You make us baby say Yasako, Yasako dear. Your papa no and this NPP organizer.
Okay.
Well, woo, Banner Crown put and also say a secretary. What you must say? The banner company or dano. It is those places that be because a printer, a serious thing, and what thing. Would I share the anchor constituency behind the Guso? That's right. Even the chum half crowned the Gugu Sumpa, and Yan the Ketwa. And on my junior presidential, so parliamentary, say, Upe be 2, 1 be 2. But presidential, only the gum, you make sure they are a Juma. What am I say? And this is for Mr. Chrono, some Bebo, and this is Ghana for we can this one Bebo Ghana for no. And your polling station won't put person on Bebo. I started printing room. I want no more started. And no more making sure, say, I want to what me share will be a what means so many vote. With the Shama Crown Pot here, a win election. That's right. Shama, man from Phone, a bar stop. And a gun, man from Phone station behind this for there. That's right. But you'll be Nipako Shiabo break beer, a starter bravo beer, and this for no more. And what you because this for there, Bobia for your no more. But who Joe Cross will win? Obi Nima was over win election. You win here, the money answer. Obi Medina also win election. I dear crying how much what must say, but when you do a person here. Then this is for no more so Ghana for say, because Ghana near woman, Alaska make my catch say, and you answer for 30% too. And you answer for Ghana, 30%.
FM 92.3.
Sabi, I give me $400. A common didn't power hanging office here in answer here. Met my catcher, work as a more officer. What the ballot papers be here. Now Bob here to 2,000. I'm going to about your mama anyway. I in Baumiana de buy, I can assure you. Go by me about my defense. I make a common didn't power hanging out so many years. Nipa Jimmy be near Jimmy for. What am I say? Because I was Shankro for Pa, Miami Shankro for Mentaya as West Oregon, one of the elite constituencies in West Africa. But Jimmy for constituency, we don't cry. I want to say. And now before I buy Legon Savley and Quasia for Omuina Propra, or my baby house to house, I'm about me. House to house. I'm about me, and I'll show you Padimina, Nehon, a year Biaonia, or the Yasa. To be something 2% were brable, see, and Penana. 2 Grofono, more brabo, any more Pebisana. It will grow 4 years and Modia more brand until the Biabesuza, or Ponyumra, 20 Ghana cities. Any other amount. House was my bow me upon 20 Ghana cities, any amount. It remember this form for a march, and you're marching the year. As a department is up on so any party money, any break. Alaska, the Ketua. That's right. One more price a queer beer, so maybe a queer beer, so maybe because when we are, we need baby our deco. That's right. And this is also the 2 teams no court, no court, 1.3. We are a few for no. We are court. A chair one for no idea some more. I had a compact and for so this is a walk. So at the end of the day, John Mama Mancroft has Uncle Court to there, a dear NSA. And near Dane near my business saying, now, now this is focus on the professors, the polling station here. I don't have problem. Ghana professors for you now, do one blue sister 70 years. Want to be transferred for 30 minutes. It's a money drone. Then this you now we see. And then this is your say. The more Jack Rani, Bibi professor. One of them be out the drosso. One of the better to an opportunity. And never soon I see a card and put on pressure high and go for you then and this brino. Would one my honor later, on my boa. A mamma ranty and Ninja Jumano. That's right. Juma way ranty Jumao. Now I'm Madrid Cofanco craft for so who dear Colani, but one and Colani Omo. The same thing, and yet the professors for the air. Well, I'll let you a professor election. That's right. On baboom, as I because who down. You do what Tamwa, a year because who should be your draw, now Professor One Wine, now why would you not campaign manager friend say? Joshua Labi.
That's right.
But the example, Jamin Kasawo. Say Joshua Labi, the polling station B, Legon Star Village. I'm using that as an example. That's what Jahan, let's say, one name, Ebia Delan again. Not the lady dinner tama or Shabba Biawaya. Why UPS always say, that's our branch of your way with Matamajai. You man cry, me money me na cry and for boom, I'm TV.
That's right.
But the legend police station now didn't take a fan home. The ABC. Says your boy who man your bar, your boy we are there to the man. What am I say? I'm a boy and can't remember be more. But I do not question with him say a professor and your professor Juma.
That's right.
Yet to crow when I could for ambassador be no professor, they call one of the country. Or call ye the mail be on check it. And just as I never back. Boy, yet it wouldn't be ye. This old man a pen and paper.
Analog.
Oh, yes, thank you. What the current thing? So I don't the day, Miss and this for no. So, mom, or any brand young any of them said to do any of Bamusa and promise him rant any Mabawano. This year, no being from your lawyer. And I make answer me chrome for Asante for. Me chrome for I can't for me use. Would you move when this election who papa? I can't for. So could you man this demo? Who papa? Do a tear beer. What the idea? I remember those the for time. And NPP, Great Accra organizer, and a friend of a group, the same boy or in it. Emra check one will lead the West in the Oko voter region. That's why I near the corner. Well, by an amendment, we have one common also called Jimmy Busian Fino, Babusian for some me, don't make Beniam Sai or in me to go to Obama NPP. And money.
That's right.
Come good in Nason, sir. I'm a vote to look at 10 different votes. Obi a national regional organizer of Great Accra we could do voter region na change.
That's right.
What about be I don't know ya Asante region. Yeah, almost here party the Asante region. Another anti-criminal or two for no or na points as I'm running.
That's right.
One word him say the pay about them. One word him say near man kosuye as no son and some ran is what it no fee when him be one word him say join to the pentu and ya papa. What am I say?
For when one braconafe dalambra or first
Bishop Insuranka will be out me as a mediary area. Say, my own fee say, over subscribe to the channel and send you new political videos be about on submit to me. I can be no what me near to Jumadi. I mean, sure, be on some can be so I measure also the best comment section or that will be asked.